On behalf of the All India Trinamool Congress, we welcome you to this first press conference of ours in this session. Let me begin by thanking all our friends in the media, the reporters, and the photographers, and also the camera persons. Thank you for being here on time. As I said, this is the first of many press conferences which the All India Trinamool Congress will be doing in Delhi, hopefully a couple every month. Today, our press conference is on one subject, Meghalaya. And I'm very happy that, which you already know, so I'm happy to re-announce that the opposition party in Meghalaya is in fact the TMC, Meghalaya TMC. Let me introduce my colleagues on stage. On my left is the two-time former Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Dr. Mukul Sangma. Former Chief Minister, current leader of the opposition. We have George Lyngdoh. George, can you just stand up, please? Yeah, thank you. George Lyngdoh, so we all get to know you. We have Zenith Sangma. We have Dikanchi Shira and Lazarus Sangma, Innocent Sangma. And our PCC president, our Trinamool TMC president in Meghalaya, the very enthusiastic former speaker, Charles Pingro, is very much in Delhi, but in the morning we had a dharna at the entrance to Parliament at Vijay Chowk. So this is the first piece of news, all TMC Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha MPs, almost all, along with our 8 MLAs, we were doing dharna at Vijay Chowk. And while the dharna was happening, it was very peaceful, nothing to do with the dharna. Just after that, Charles Pingro slipped and he's hurt his back, but he's very well now. All good. So we are here today, and the press conference will be in 3 parts. I shall first make some opening remarks. Then the core of the press conference today is the address by Dr. Mukul Sangma. And the third part of our press conference, unlike Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah's press conference, we actually take questions from the media. So we actually answer questions. You ask and we'll answer. We are gathered here today to address a series of mishaps occurring in Meghalaya because of the MDA government there. As you know, the MDA is a proxy BJP government. So in the last 4 years, healthcare is in shambles. Education system is in shambles. Less said about the infrastructure, the better. And alleged scams, there's a long list of alleged scams. Today, in the dharna in the morning, demand is very simple. The need to include Garo and Khasi languages in the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. The need to include Garo and Khasi languages in the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. Dr. Mukul Sangma is a PhD on this subject, so I will only say one sentence and he can give you all the other details. So there have been protests, there have been memorandums, both to the state government, to the central government, but nothing has moved. Second-hand treatment to the northeastern states. Second-hand treatment to the northeastern states. Only 3 languages from the northeast have been included in the 8th schedule. Only 3. We're asking for 2 more. There are many senior journalists here. Maybe you can jog your memory. If I ask you, when was the last time you remember that MLAs, an opposition party from Meghalaya, along with MPs, came to Delhi, had a dharna in the morning, had a press conference like this? Because we really believe that the time has come to show some action, because as it is, you know, Mamata Banerjee's and Trinamool Congress's commitment to ethnic rights, linguistic rights, and the smaller they are, the more they need to be protected. So we demand that the cultural and linguistic ethnicity of the people of Meghalaya, we're talking about cultural and ethnic, they need to be recognized first, and they need to be protected at all costs. That's why we are here. The second issue is on the state border issue with the neighboring state of Meghalaya. There again, Dr. Sangma will address both these issues in the press conference. So this concludes the first part of our press conference. Dr. Mukul Sangma.
Thank you, Mr. Derek. My greetings to all our friends from media fraternity, and I join Mr. Derek in welcoming all of you to this press interaction. It's a privilege again for me, because it's very rare when we have this opportunity to be in front of you, to brief you, and for you also to be in Northeast. I think it's an area where you hardly probably go, and then difficult to cover. But media network has become much more vibrant now. We are able to connect. So it is a great privilege to be with all of you. Now, joining my colleague, Mr. Derek, I would like to share with you that today what we did in the morning was to draw the attention of the government of India to take cognizance of issues revolving around the people of Northeast, particularly the people of Meghalaya. Now, as politicians and as people belonging to this political class, we are all responsible. We are all responsible to ensure that we defend and protect our ideals of democratic values and the cultural ethos, and always take cognizance of any voice of the people, listen to the people. But I'm very sad to say that today we are in such a situation where people's voices are falling on deaf ears, whether it is at the state level or at the national level. And that is something which we have not seen in the past. I have had a long innings in politics. I started very early at the age of 27 when I got elected as an MLA, 1993, completing almost 30 years of my innings in politics. And this is the time when, with this present dispensation of government, both at the state and the center, we see that the voices of people are not considered as something to be taken into cognizance by the government of the day. And this is precisely why we say that we must continue to therefore draw the attention to the government. Today is the first time in the history of my political innings that we have to come and do what we did in the morning to draw the attention of the government of India. It is simple. I think what we mean is very clear indicative of our frustration for not getting the kind of attention from the government of the day. And this is something which is not in sync with what we expect in our given democracy, because this great nation has its own history. We may belong to a small state. Meghalaya is a very small state where we have 2 members in the Lok Sabha. So maybe we are insignificant in national politics, but we are significant because we belong to this great nation. Our forefathers decided to be part of this great nation. And we add to the flavor of the huge diversity of this great nation. And that is something which we are proud of. And therefore, irrespective of our size in terms of population, even though we are microscopic in terms of population, with over 1 billion population of this great nation, our voices need to be taken into cognizance so that we continue to add flavor to the huge diversity of great nation, and we become a part and parcel of the growth and progress and the story of growth and progress of this great nation. So you must have witnessed in the preceding months, for all those friends from the media who must have at least remain vigilant on what is happening in Northeast, that there has been instances of people trying to draw the attention of the government, of both the state governments, Meghalaya and Assam, in respect to the decision of both the state governments pertaining to their decision to resolve the long pending border-related problem with the counterparts. In other words, to resolve the dispute pertaining to the areas of difference along Assam-Meghalaya border. Any resolution that we decide upon is to ensure that there is a kind of a situation where people feel or people find a reason to feel good about the decision of the government. We must do justice to all sections of people. And people of Assam and Meghalaya, we are like brothers. I used to say that when Assam catches cold, the Meghalaya sneezes, because we are integral part of this vibrant northeastern part of the country. And Meghalaya was a part of Assam, undivided Assam. Shillong was the capital of undivided Assam. And our forefathers wanted a different state. We achieved so. And after achieving the state, only one problem remained which was unresolved. That is the problem pertaining to the areas of difference along Assam-Meghalaya border. There are 12 areas of identified areas of difference. Now, I would not like to reconnect with the past, but the problem is that none of these issues could be resolved because we wanted to resolve this issue in a manner which is considered acceptable to all people. All people. When we say all people, means the people of both the states, Meghalaya and Assam, the stakeholders. I must be blunt in saying that this problem that has unfolded after the recent decision of these two states coming together to resolve these areas of difference along the Assam-Meghalaya border is because of the government itself. Because government has forgotten that if a problem which has been pending for such a long time, if required to be resolved, then it must be by taking everybody on board, by taking all the stakeholders on board. I would like to take this privilege to share with you, the complexity of the whole land tenure system in Meghalaya. When we say the stakeholders, that means in the context of Meghalaya, the land belongs to the people. Land belongs to the people, and the whole area that belongs to the people are governed by our traditional institution. Even the government, when we need land, we'll have to approach the community, we have to approach the clans who have the ownership of the land. And that is another state where, that is a state where we have the right over the land, the right over the surface, right over the minerals under the surface. So very, I must say, unique situation in respect of land tenure system. Therefore, this complexity has to be understood by people in authority when they want to evolve a mechanism for a solution. This was not done. And therefore, the resistance from the people, and therefore the expected line of response from the government to listen to their voices and comply with. But government of the day seems to be in a mood to bulldoze and impose, which is not inconsistent with the spirit of democracy. And as a political party, it is our binding responsibility to protect the interests of the people and be the voice of the people, and that's what exactly we are doing. Yeah. Now, on the language issue, there's so much of beauty in being able to take pride in one's identity. And language is obviously the indispensable part to indicate one's identity. And in the context of our demand for the inclusion of our Garo and Khasi languages under the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India, obviously is because it opens up lots of opportunities for our people. While our youth aspire to fill up in the job spaces available across the nation. And there should be a level playing ground for all. Our responsibility towards our people revolves around the question of justice and equality for all. Therefore, if others have been given this opportunity, it is only natural that we must give similar kind of opportunity to others. It is from that perspective that we all collectively took a resolution in the Legislative Assembly as mandated by the Constitution and submitted it before the Government of India to consider. But unfortunately, as I have said, the Government of India has not been responsive to this call. And that's the reason why we have to come this far and demonstrate today before the Parliament. And that's why we are here together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mukul Sangma, for very clearly articulating these two key issues for today. We move on to the third and last part of this press conference related to Meghalaya, which are there. If there are any questions, just identify yourself and ask the questions. Let me make one more announcement because of certain developments in Parliament. After this press conference concludes, the All India Trinamool Congress will have another press conference with a, should we say, a 7-minute break, and there we will discuss issues related to Parliament at that time. So you don't need to, maybe just a 7-minute break so we rearrange the table, the chairs. Okay. Dr. Sangma, any questions? You explained it so well, there are no questions.
Law and order situation. Well, I must at the outset congratulate the people of the state for enabling the government to restore peace. I think national media was a witness to what happened in Meghalaya in those preceding years when one of the lady was a victim of, the cruelty with which the terrorists were operating in the state of Meghalaya. We restored peace. And by 2018, 6th of March, when I handed over the charge of the government to a new incumbent government, the Meghalaya didn't have any more militant nor a terrorist organization operating. So that was the kind of turnaround that we created over the period of time when we had the privilege to be in the helm of affairs of governance. But today, with the kind of deprivation of the youth from getting into the job spaces available, there are disgruntlement, frustration, anger palpable amongst the youth. You must have seen what has happened on the Independence Day in Shillong itself, which has never ever been anticipated. Something of which we are not proud of, something of which we are ashamed of. That has happened. You have witnessed it. So the question of managing the law and order in the state of Meghalaya by the present dispensation, from what has happened in the preceding years and what you have witnessed as a nation, itself speaks for, it's self-explanatory about the incompetence and insensitivity of the government towards what's happening on the ground. Zero. Who is absconding? Not MLA. He's a member of the district council. Well, I think if whatever alleged illegalities have been happening in that particular place in the capital town of West Garo Hills, I'm sure you will agree with me that it has not been happening only for 1 day or 2 days. What was the government doing for so long? I think that is the question you'll have to pose before the Chief Minister or the government. What was the government doing for so long? Please understand one thing. The magnitude of problem in the state of Meghalaya and in Northeast is something which is really, really scary. The quantum of drugs that's flowing around. You know, the number of peddlers getting involved, and various other associated evils that's happening there. And this is a time, when the government of the day decides to come up with a policy and program to make Meghalaya a den of gambling and other vices. This is something which is not in sync with our cultural ethos, our way of life. So we are really in a situation where the government of the day will have to take responsibility for all the mess that we are in. Yes. Now, when I took charge as Chief Minister on the 10th of April 2010, I inherited a state which was not in a very good shape. Okay. The band outfits were operating, dictating terms. Government employees, if transferred and posted to various areas across the state, first thing they would do is to find a way to reach political bosses to change the transfer and posting order, obviously because of the law and order situation. But as I have said, when there were innumerable militant outfits and two dreaded banned terrorist organizations operating in the state, we created a turnaround, and not even a single terrorist organization or a militant outfit was operating anymore on the day when I handed over the charge on 6th of March 2018. That means what? That means we were able to, despite the challenges of lawlessness, we were able to restore peace, generate hope and aspirations amongst the people, the feel-good factor amongst all people. Now tell me, across the nation, where you have similar kind of challenges, to have a turnaround within such a short time, is it really possible? It's not possible. In fact, in course of number of the internal security meeting that we had with Government of India, I have shared with all our colleagues and Government of India that whatever the state of Meghalaya has adopted to deal with militancy, lawlessness and terrorism must be taken as a case study for Government of India and other states. I repeat, with pride, that whatever Government of Meghalaya during my time has done to deal with lawlessness, militancy and terrorism must be taken as a case study by any of the states who are still confronted by the similar challenges.
Thank you. And what is your expectation? Okay. Last question.
Yeah, my expectation is that...
Questions? Just one second. Yes.
So this recent issue where, the Meghalaya BJP vice president, a portal was raided by the police which is alleged to be run by this BJP Meghalaya vice president, Mr. Mara. So is the Trinamool, because, it's one of the largest opposition there now, breaking up the issue, what is it doing?
I'm raking up this issue, yes. I have already said, if this has happened and this has been happening, what was the government doing? That is the indicative of what has been happening in the state. I think I have already mentioned about that. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Therefore, the government must pull up its shocks and then respond to the given situation and restore peace. I have not referred to only this instance. I have also referred to instance which the nation as a whole was able to witness with utmost sense of, what should I say? It was something which has never been expected to be seen on an Independence Day. Youth with AK-47 and gun moving around the state capital itself. So these are all indicative of the failure of the government and incompetence of the government. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My expectation is that I trust the people of the state of Meghalaya. I have full confidence and trust on the people of Meghalaya, and we proceed with our utmost sense of commitment and sincerity and honesty to continue to serve them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mukul Sangma, and thank you to all my colleagues. With that, we conclude this part of the press conference of the All India Trinamool Congress on this one issue. We're going to take just a 5-minute. We're just going to take a 5-minute break. We're going to have another press conference just now on the issues arising out of developments in Parliament. Back in 5 minutes. Thank you.